Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. We are so excited for this webinar today with our very own Lee Johnson. He's here to tell us all about threat intelligence with Red Flag, what it is, how you could use it, why would you'd use it, everything. We're going to give everyone a couple minutes to join. So just sit back, get a cup of coffee, grab your lunch, whatever you need to do, and we'll start the event here in about 2 minutes. Maybe while we wait, Lee, could you tell us a little bit more about who you are, how long you've been with Red Flag, what you do?
Yeah, thank you for that introduction. Yeah, for those who don't know me, my name is Lee Johnson. I am the senior account executive for Red Flag. I've been obviously involved with Red Flag since before it was actually a thing. I've actually been lucky enough to see it become an idea before coming up with the name Red Flag was always
I
kind of
didn't know that.
interesting story behind that. But coming up with the name, watching the technical development of the software, and then of course the go to market, and then obviously the many years that it's been out there, being able to see it grow and change over the years has been very exciting. So yeah, I've been hands on with this software for a very long time. I'm very proud of it, and very excited about talking about this new capability. Yeah.
That's amazing. Here before the name. That's awesome. A
Yes.
little bit of housekeeping, everybody. We're about to start. We got about 1 minute. But if you look in the top right corner of your screen, I'm not sure which side my video is not mirrored, but you'll see a little chat icon with a question mark in it. That is for you to submit questions to us directly. So that doesn't go to the whole crowd, that just goes to us. So send any questions, comments, concerns, whatever you have throughout the presentation. We'll be in the chat answering those questions directly, or Lee might, if it's relevant, Lee might be able to answer it real time. If not, we'll answer all your questions at the end. We'll have a little bit of time at the end for a Q&A session. And if we do not get to your question, we will follow up with you after the event. So please feel free to blow us up in the chat. Please submit any comments and questions. But now we're at 12:02 Central Time. I don't know where you are. So I'm going to pass it off to you, Lee. Let's get this thing going.
Awesome. Thanks again. I really appreciate that, Jordan, for the introduction. Yeah. So for those of you who might have maybe jumped in just now, yeah. For those who don't know me, Lee Johnson. I am the senior account executive for Red Flag. As I was saying, been here since the beginning, and have seen this software grow. I think it's we're about 12, 13 years now in the market. I've seen it grow, and yeah, I think I'm probably more excited about this than I have been about any other thing that we've added to it. It really, in my opinion, this really takes it from being an emergency mass notification system to being really a comprehensive risk reduction software. And I want to hope you get out of that today, that it can be a lot of things to a lot of different companies, and I'm going to talk about how it's customizable. We'll get into all that, but the ability to really have it all in one software, to be able to monitor, to be able to take action on that data, and to have it at your fingertips when you already have that software, I think really is a game changer. So yeah, my agenda today, we are going to sorry, there you go. My agenda today, we are going to show a demonstration of it. I'm gonna walk through how to use it, some of the options. We won't hit everything, of course. We don't have time to do that. I will hit some of the major points, but I do want to talk a little bit about why it's important, and I do want to talk about use cases that others have used it for, and obviously when they use it. So the pre, the during, and the post kind of event type scenarios. I do want to make sure I hit on several of those points. But yeah, why do we need it? What are some of the important things? Really, the proactive nature of it, I think, jumps out at me. The fact that you can take raw data and turn it into actionable decisions, right? So you can take that information that there's something going on that's affecting your assets or your people, and the ability to quickly do something about it, all in one system. Very important. I think that's why you need it. Also, really talk about the customizable nature of it. A lot of people start with thinking weather alone, right? I want to monitor for weather. I want to know if there's a hurricane coming, or if there's a snowstorm coming, or if there's a tornado event maybe in our area. Of course, that's probably the most popular, and you can certainly do that, but it can do a lot more than that as well. It does security incidents like active shooter events to civil unrest, infrastructure issues like power outages and road closures, and health and environmental things, earthquake, fires, all the above. We can monitor for that. And so depending on your particular company and your particular situation and needs, you can customize it to do exactly what it is that you need to do. And really the last thing I'll say there is when they use it, they're going to use it a lot of times in the before an incident. Obviously, that's what people think about. I want to know before something happens so that I can alert people. Maybe I want to alert them automatically, which you can do, or maybe you just want to notify your security team. And of course, you can do that, of course, and then they can make the decision, or your security or risk team, and they can make the decision about what the next best steps are for your organization. Again, you'll be able to customize it to do exactly what it is that you think is best for your organization. Then, of course, during the event, that's the automated alerts that I mentioned before. You can set it up so that you don't even have to touch it. It will automatically update your anybody affected by certain events. They can be automatically notified without you even having to push a button. And then, of course, after the incident. Right. So we're going to keep these as all reported for you. You'll be able to know when you sent the messages, when they were delivered, who got the messaging, so that you can keep those records for compliance issues, and obviously improving for future preparedness. And for when the next thing happens, you'll kind of have a better grasp on what it is exactly you'll need to do. No, I know I talked a lot. I wanted to make sure I got that out because as I go through the demonstration, sometimes I'll forget to hit those points. So I think I've covered that. Really, without further ado, I'm going to let's just go ahead, and I'm going to show you now the interface itself, and I want to walk you through a little bit about what you can do with the threat intelligence. So if you have it added to your software, you'll see it show up here under this, and you'll be able to click in and head straight to the dashboard. Now, what I want to show you a little bit when we talk about this, for those of you who have taken advantage of our geofencing capability, this will look somewhat familiar. It is obviously a map that has assets on it that you'll see displayed here. For those of you who don't know, what's an asset? An asset is going to be either a group that you have assigned coordinates to. And for most of our clients, we see the groups is how you segment and target your messaging. So you can assign those groups, whether that is for location groups, it could be department groups, doesn't matter. You can take any group and assign it actual coordinates so that it displays onto the map. In addition to that, you can have addresses. So for some, they like to have all their employees' home addresses on there. And so that can populate onto the map for you as well. And then lastly, we also have device tracking. So again, for those of you who don't know this, you can have a recipient app that has location tracking. So each individual employee can be tracked for their physical location, as well as we have a desktop app. That app could also be tracked for location. And so that would display onto this map. So for those who do traveling or things like that, you can have that displayed onto this map for this purposes. So we'll see here on what I've got shown here, some examples. I wanted to kind of walk you through what you can do with it, and then I'm going to actually build you a monitoring scenario so that you can see it live in action. So real quick, what I've got here, a couple of different things. For those of you who have a single location, you can monitor that location only. So you see here, I've got one that I built here for Dallas, and it's very granular. I have a very small little circle here over a certain part of Dallas. You can see that it doesn't incorporate Fort Worth. I don't care about that so much. I'm only going to care about what's going on in Dallas. So I built a little monitoring situation over that. I've taken it a little further, and I built one for North Texas, which brings it up a little bit more and encompasses a little bit bigger area. So if I wanted to do that, I certainly can. And I can even set different rules for that. Again, I'll get into that here in a second, what that means when I'd say different rules. Then I've got one for the Southeast region. And you can see this little pretty picture here where I've done a pretty good job of drawing the state of Texas here, as well as the kind of the Southeast. But yes, your shapes don't have to be round or square. They can be anything that you want. So you can get very precise on the area that you want to exactly monitor for. And then this one here called the Northeast. I just want to show you this one because I can create a monitoring rule and have different areas for the same rule. So I can create that. Let's say I want the same rules across the entire board. I can create each different monitoring area as I see fit in multiple areas. So this is an area where I've done that. I've got 2 different boxes that I'm monitoring. They don't have to connect, but they do follow the same rules. Yeah, so that's why I wanted to kind of show you that. But let's go ahead and set up and let's create a monitoring rule for you kind of here live in action. So let's create one for the West region. That's what I'm going to call it. And then let's color code it kind of a pinkish purple color here so that we'll know what region we're looking at. And so for that, once I click on that, now the next step for me to do is to draw the geographical zone in which I want to monitor. I'm going to do it as not a standard shape, just like I did before. And we're going to do it here for California. And so I can come down here and I can quickly draw myself a shape. I can get this in here. Oops. And then I can kind of complete that. And now I've got an area. I'm going to call this zone California. And then I'll save that. But then in addition, like I was saying, I could have different areas. Let me go ahead and do another zone. We'll do this one as a circle, and we'll do it here over my Tucson area. And we'll just call this one, as you suspect, as Tucson. And now I've got those 2 different the zones in which I want to do monitoring. Once I've done that, now the next step is to select the feeds that I want. So just out of the box, you'll get the FEMA, the National Weather Service. We have Canada Weather Feed. These are just what I have here in this demo account. We do allow you to have those feeds, and then in addition, you can always add custom feeds. So we do have some clients that have their own CAP feeds with their own alerts for special, unique situations. If you do have those, you can add those into ours, and you can set up a monitoring within our software. So we do give you that customized ability for CAP feeds as well. But we're going to select these 3. Then the next step is my filters. So you might not want everything. You can choose between immediate, expected, and future. You can just do one of those if you want, or 2 or 3 as you see fit. And you have severity levels. So you can do extreme, severe, moderate, as you see fit. Some only want to do very extreme, and some want to do others. Totally up to you. It's customizable to your specifications. Then we have the category. I mentioned this before. I think this is kind of important. Everybody thinks about weather, which of course you can do, but there's a lot of other categories of which you can monitor. Some people are really worried about the fires. Some people worried about snowstorms, hurricanes, it's a lot, earthquakes, whatever it may be. You can monitor for all the above as you see fit. Maybe you want to do just weather, and so you kind of want to ignore some of the other ones. You certainly can. You can do that. So once you've done your filtering, now you do next. And then the last step you have is the decision to automate or not. Now, you cannot automate it, which means the feed will just come into the interface. So you'll need to come into the interface to see if there are any alerts that you need to pay attention to. But if you do want to configure an automated alert, you absolutely can do that. You can configure that alert to go to a couple of different things to think about. Obviously, you can do it via any of the channels that you have available to you already. You can look to send it to a predefined audience. Now, that predefined audience would just be anything that you already are used to doing. It can be a group that you have already created, or it could be a couple of individual recipients that you want that to go to, so that if anything hits the monitoring, it will then automatically alert you via text or via an email, or really any channel that you have gotten an alert that you need to pay attention to. So it does not require you to log in every day and look. You can be notified if anything is going on in your monitored region. But again, that would just go to your predefined audience. Generally speaking, that's going to be your administrators, safety team, risk team, really whoever's responsible for monitoring that. You also have the option to do the impacted audience. Now, this is really cool. I'm going to show you how this works here in a second, but this will be very succinct, and that it's going to be sometimes a very small impacted area. And only if you have an asset in that area, then it will automatically send that alert out to those individuals, whether that's one person or whether that's everyone. Whoever is in an impacted area, they will automatically get that alert. That's what I talked about earlier, that you won't have the need to go in there and to read and decide if you want to send it out. It will automatically send that out to that audience, but only if they are in the impacted area. Then, how do we want to handle the updates? I get asked this question quite a bit, right? So not necessarily do you want everything to go out to everyone every time. Some of these will update quite a bit. It'll update, every few minutes or every hour on the hour for days. And then you might find yourself getting more alerts than you really need to get. So you can send just the initial alert without any updates, or you can ask for it to send the updates, but then you can either do all of them or you can limit those. And I think a lot of our clients have taken advantage of this limitation. So you can limit that to one an hour, every few minutes. You could do it for every 12 hours. So a couple times a day. If there's any updates, they can be notified. So that here you just kind of limit a little bit about too much impact on your audience, getting too many messages. I know that's been a concern with some people who are setting this up. I'm not sure if they want to do the automation yet because they're not sure how it will impact their employees or how they would feel about it. So just keep that in mind, that you do have the ability to limit a little bit about what they're receiving, so you're not inundating them. You can also give your message a header. And really what this will help you do is you could brand it. So I have seen several who have gone in and they might go in there and they may label it their company weather alerts. And then that sends it out. So it kind of shows you that you're staying on top of it, that you're being proactive. And so you can kind of brand it as you see fit, so that your employees know it's coming from you. They know that you're the one that's monitoring it. You could absolutely do that. And then last, really here on the send times, another thing you can think about. I've had some clients that decided that they only want the messaging to go out to their audience during work hours. That if it's not during work hours, they don't want any kind of automated alerts going out. So they only want to do it for their facility during working hours. In which case you could absolutely do that if you want to. You can pick the days that you want it to be alive and the hours of which you want to do that. So you can select times and you can select days so that the alerts only go out when you want them to go out. Now, of course, you can always just leave it wide open and no restrictions, any day, anytime, and it can go out. So you do have a lot of different customizations you can see here. It feels like a lot, but truly it really helps you kind of fine tune it so that you get the best out of this, right? What I don't want to happen, or what you don't want to happen, is to have it be so much information that you don't do anything with it, but you also don't want too little. And so you just kind of find that happy medium, and we absolutely give you the controls to do exactly that. So I'm going to go ahead and take the next step here. I'm going to not configure an automated alert for this particular demo. So let me just go ahead and finish that. And as I finish that, you'll see here that in that zone, I have 3 alerts that are already in this impacted area right here. Over to my right, you can see that I do have some of these alerts, and you can see that each alert gives you a couple of bits of information. You're seeing this one here, it tells you the region. So this is that southeast region that I have here. And then here you can see those are the west region. So that's the one that I just created. I can see it's the west region. I can see the time impact, whether it is future, expected, or immediate. And then, of course, the severity level, as well as the type of issue it is, whether it's weather, infrastructure, whatever it might be. It does give you the breakdown for each alert. Now, if I want to go in here and I want to know a little bit more about this one. So if I go in here, you can see this message. As you can see, it's a pretty long-winded message. But if I get down here, I can look at the impact. As you see here, the impact shows me that I do have one asset that is impacted from this alert. And you can see here it's one person. Now, if I click in the message, watch this. It will actually zoom in on the actual area that is affected by this alert. And you can see here, this is the region, and I do have one asset inside of here. If I click on that, you'll see it's our it's our good friend Ted Lasso, who here in Studio City, California, is within that particular region. Again, if I had the automated alerts turned on, then he would have received this message as soon as it came in. He would have gotten an automatic alert because he was in the impacted region. But because I don't have automated alerts on, I can come in here, I can see that he's impacted, and now I can manually send an alert to that individual. And when I click that, you'll see it jumps over to the message page. This should look very familiar to you. It's what you're used to using. And so you can see that it will automatically come in here. It automatically creates a geo-targeting zone. And as you can see here, it lists for you that recipient count. I know in this case, it's just one, but no matter what you had, it would show you that who was being affected in that area, and allows you to populate this with your messaging and allows you to send this out. Now, because it's so particularly long, you may not want to send all of it, but you can obviously edit this information to just send the bits that you want to send. So you can edit this message before you send it, as well as the ability to go in and add additional people to this. So maybe you're going to send it to this impacted person, but maybe you also want to include a security team or a safe risk team to let them know that you are sending out a message to someone for this event. So you do have a lot. You can customize this like you normally would with the create a message page. You'd be able to go in here and absolutely do this just like you're used to doing already. Yeah, and you have the same functionality down here that you want to. You can do URL shorteners and file attachments and conference bridging. You can ask for responses, for acknowledgments and polling. Just like you are normally used to using, you can use all of that information to send that message. Very simple. Now let's head back over here to the threat intelligence piece one more time to kind of give you an overview. One more time, and one thing I forgot to mention is that you can obviously turn these on or off as you see fit. And as I was mentioning before, you can edit each one of these individually for the different urgency levels, severity levels, and categories. So you might find that you want to monitor a certain area with different severity levels, with different categories. You can absolutely do that. It's not a one size fit all. You can set some with different rules, and you can set up different automations. So one of them, you might have an automated alert like this one here in Dallas. I do have one automated to send out, where the others, I do not. And I think I'm a little bit faster. I kind of talked faster than I thought. I think I'm about 5 minutes ahead of where I was expected to be. But yeah, do we get any questions? I'd love to start that part of it. That we may have quite a bit. So I wanted to make sure I left enough room for that. Jordan, do we have any questions?
Yeah, I'm taking a look now. It doesn't look like we have any questions yet. We'll give everybody a couple of seconds to put some questions in there. And if we don't get any, I guess we'll give everybody some time back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Remember, guys, it's that chat box in your top right corner with the question mark in it. Um, we did get one. So the first question is there a cost to add this to our existing program?
It depends on your what your particular plan is. For some of you, it will be no additional cost, and for some, it might be a slight increase in cost. But it will just depend on your particular plan that you have.
All right, so I guess they should talk to you or Brian about that if they're ready to add it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Reach out to your customer success a rep and make sure that you ask them. They will, either get with me or someone else to verify what that would look like. But we can give you an exact. We'll tell you exactly what it will cost if there is any cost to you. Yeah.
Awesome. And then we did also get a few more questions. So they want to know what are the source feeds available and how are the non-weather events identified?
How are they identified? Like in the feeds that we get, the two cap, the main cap ones that we get are for the. Let me go back here. Let me go. Yeah, the main cap feeds is the one from FEMA and the one from National Weather Service. So the National Weather Service would be your weather feed, the ones you expect to get, most of those, and then the FEMA integrated alerting and warning system. That's the one that will produce you your others, your active shooter events, your fires, your infrastructure issues, all that type of stuff. These are the standard feeds, the most popular, the most common is the ones that are just standard in here. But like I said before, we do have the ability to add custom feeds. And that just means, we have had some customers that wanted lightning detection. We've had others that wanted to monitor for certain citywide things. They're more of a municipality. They may have IPAWS or they might have something like that. If you have those type of feeds already, you can add those directly into ours. Or if there's a particular feed that you think is more applicable to you, again, we can add custom feeds, no problem. But the standard, most popular, what most people use are the FEMA and National Weather Service.
Awesome. We have another really great question in here. What features of this program stand out among current competitors in the market?
It's the customization. What I have seen is that others are more blanket. So you have more of a blanket monitoring for everything that you're going to do. It's one size fits all. With ours, you literally have the ability to get as granular as you want to. You can monitor down to street level, set those rules for that particular, and then set different rules for different areas. And then, of course, the impacted areas as well. The way that we draw our geofencing is included in the monitoring. So that's another thing that I've seen that's a little bit different than others, the ability to actually target just the ones that are affected. Well, I've seen some others that if you're monitoring the state of California, anything that happens in California, everyone within that region gets notified. Obviously, that's a little bit overkill. You would, like, for example, earlier when I was showing this particular message, it was showing me this. If I click on there, it's this particular region. You see this alert wouldn't have been automated to this person because they're not in the affected area. Neither would that have happened to the person here in San Diego or the one up in here in San Jose. Those individuals would not get this message because they're not in the impacted area. And so really it's the targeting aspect of it and the customization across each of your monitoring zones and no limitations to that. That's another thing that I've seen. There is no limitations to how many different monitoring rules and sets that you want to set up. Yeah.
Cool. And another great question. Is this only available in the United States or do we cover other countries?
It can cover other countries. Currently, right now, I think it's the standard goes to U.S. and Canada, which is really our main regions that are our audience. But I do have some customers with international, and so yeah, we can monitor international as well. It just requires a separate cap fee. Yeah.
Okay, very good. And I think I'm not seeing any other questions come in, but this kind of
Yeah.
gives us, we're kind of right at 30 minutes. So I think this was great timing.
Right, right, of course. Yeah. If I just want to say one more thing, I'll add, and then I'll let you dismount for us, Jordan. I just want to say what I really what I've seen the most from the clients that have initiated this was a little bit of a fear of getting started because they weren't sure exactly what they wanted to do. Did they want to monitor it? Did they want to automated alerts? What type of alerts do they want to automate? I think that's really what most people are most concerned about, or what they're that's the fear. And what I will say is that, I'm going to give kudos to my customer success team. They do a very good job of helping you initiate this, helping you walk through the different scenarios, helping you figure out what's best for you and what others have done and what our recommendations are. So don't hesitate to, even if you're not sure you want to do it, don't hesitate to reach out to say, maybe let's design a program. How would we do it if we did decide to do it? And maybe that will help you kind of move in that direction. So, yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Lee. This was a great
Yeah.
event today. And everybody, we will be sending out a copy of this recording. You should get it in your inbox around this time tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. And thank you again for joining.
Yes.
Have a
Thank
good
you,
day.
everyone.